Indeed, it will continue, and it will continue tonight with the entire history of the Franklin Roosevelt administration during the Second World War up until his death on April 12th of 1945, just before the surrender of Germany, and about, 6 months before the surrender of Japan. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this, but I think that's one of the best series, historically speaking, that I have ever seen, and that you could not help, if you watched last night, to put the story of the Windsors together with the story of FDR because of the visit between the King and Queen and the President of the United States. Far more than just a meeting of world leaders, because at the time it was a clear indication that the United States would end up on the side of Great Britain in any confrontation with the Axis powers, and because of that, it kind of sealed the fate of the Axis. Okay, this is the last break of this entire drive. We will not talk to you again, gosh, I guess until March. And who knows what's going to be happening in March, folks, or what will have happened by the time March gets here. So you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to call if you have not called. And that opportunity ends in about, I don't know, about 10 minutes, because that will be the end of this drive. Your last opportunity to call and say, hey, I like public television, I want it to continue, and I want you to have my name on your rolls to let everybody know that I feel as strongly about public television as anybody at the station or anybody else who has called so far tonight. This is an opportunity for every phone in this room to ring, and I don't care if you're living in the Yakima Valley, I don't care if you're living in the Columbia Valley, or anywhere in western Washington, or anywhere in the Lower Mainland, or Vancouver Island, or anywhere in the Okanagan. It makes no difference, because the programming that we are trying to save and the programming that we are trying to bring to you in the future goes into your home, and it doesn't make any difference where you live. It truly doesn't, as long as you have access to it. And that's what you're doing. That's what you do when you make the telephone call. Now, if you can afford a premium, you're going to like it. I mean, if you've enjoyed this program tonight, you're going to love these two books. I don't know. I think these two books are going home with me. I think so. 1882 to 1928. The first book on FDR by Kenneth F.S. Davis, pardon me. And these are very, very large books, extremely well written. This is at the $100 level. The second book, 1928 to 1933, covering his governorship of New York and his nomination as the Democratic nominee for president in 1932. At the $150 level, all four of the videos. That's the entire American Experience series on FDR. And at the $200 level, we have both the videos and the books. So if one of those fits your budget, I know that you are going to like to have them. But it doesn't really make any difference about the premiums. It really doesn't. You'll like them, but the thing that you're guaranteeing with your call is continued public television in your home. Quality like this. And, you know, it doesn't make any difference, by the way, folks, whether you agree that Franklin Roosevelt was a great president or not. That's not what this history is about. What it is truly about is giving you an accurate history. Okay? Please give us a call right now. And if you get into call waiting, hold on. We need you.
We do need you. And some of the calls that we're receiving tonight, several people have volunteered the information that they lived through this period of time, the FDR period, and not meaning that they were just babies, like many of us were at that time, but rather that they truly did live as adults through that period. That's very gratifying to know that they were able to attach themselves to their life experiences. And that is a perfect example of what KCTS and PBS programming does so well in what's called the long form. They're able to take a subject such as the FDR years and really go into it in depth, really touch the subject in its long form rather than skimming across the top with a few highlights and a few glitters here and there, but rather give you a full understanding of what that period is like. And we need that. We need that kind of resource in terms of being able to understand our history, understand our culture, whatever it may be. And while I have some very favorite programs on commercial television, I'm sure you do too, we still need to have this balance of the educational side, the side that has the time and the programming format to take this long form. And so that's why it's so important that you join us and become part of that percentage that we show on the screen of our funds coming from people like you and me. So please call us. We need your support. That's 1-800-443-1999. We are here to take your call. Thanks.
It's not simply a matter of rainbow. It's not simply a matter of color. It's a matter of economics. It's a matter of social status. It's a matter of education. It has to do with poverty. It has to do with self-identity. The issues are very complex, and I think KCTS has really made an attempt, more so than any of the other stations, to look at what is taking place.
Thank you, Cleo, very much. You know, I was going to talk to you about what your telephone call means. Well, to you and I guess to everybody, it means a little something different, doesn't it? Because each one of us has a different reason for calling. But let me talk to you for just a second about the perception that your call makes, the perception to other people. Basically, what you're saying is this. When you call and when you support, you're saying this: public television is ours. It will remain ours. And we are going to make sure that it remains ours. And that's as a definitive, definite statement as you can possibly make. If you have children, now I've got 2 grandchildren, but I got a call the other day. Let me share this with you just for a second. I got a call the other day from a lady who said, you know, I work, my husband works, and we've got a little girl, she's 5 years old, and you have no idea what a difference it makes to the harmony and the happiness in our home when I can get up in the morning and go about getting ready for going to work, get breakfast on the table, get my husband ready to go to work, and do a few things to keep the house in order because my daughter is not constantly asking for attention. She's sitting in front of the television watching Barney. Worth the dollars? Is it worth the dollars? What you're watching on public television right now, is it worth the dollars that you put into this station? Is it worth it to you and the people that you love? If it is, this is your last opportunity to go to the phones. And if you have to sit in call waiting for a while, sit. Okay, just sit and do it. This one's yours, folks. You, for 40 years, you have been the public in public TV. Let's keep it that way, shall we? Give us a call.
It's so gratifying to see the range of where our calls are coming in from. And we want to thank so many of you for calling in tonight. Those of you throughout all of Western Washington, of course, our wonderful friends and supporters in BC, Yakima Valley, all the greater Seattle area. It is most gratifying. And we hope that tonight, as you're sitting there comfy in your jammies, those of you who have not joined us tonight but think, well, you know, I'm going to do that one of these days, we hope that tonight will be the night. Tonight is the is such an important element in terms of adding up those numbers, and every one of these calls is so important to us. So we hope that you'll kind of take that sense of being proactive, because of all the thousands of people who now are subscribers to KCTS, it took the initiative. It took that one person to decide that one time, okay, I think I'll call it tonight. And they fish around and get out their credit card and so on. And we're hoping that the same scenario is going to happen for you. It is not too late. We are here. These wonderful volunteers are here. So please call us. We do have lines open. 1-800-443-1999. So your call could be coming in to that person or that person or that person. Thanks a lot.
I think the difficulty with people is not so much that they have to pay more in taxes, but that they don't know where it's going and they can't see what it's doing for them. That's an incredible frustration. With Channel 9, when you pledge money to Channel 9, you can say, all right, I'm going to give this much, and then you tune it in, and over the next few weeks or few months, you can say, well, I helped contribute to that.
You know, I find this program absolutely fascinating. No matter what your political affiliation, if you were alive during the late 30s and the 40s, the Second World War, Franklin Roosevelt played such a major role in your life and in mine. And whether that was for the good or bad makes no difference at all. because he was the leader. And if any man ever had two administrations, it's Franklin Roosevelt. And by two administrations, I mean 8 years of the New Deal and then 5 years, if you will, of the Second World War as a leader that brought the United States from a country, as Alistair Cook pointed out, that started in 1938-39 with the size of an army about the size of Sweden to the most powerful military power on the face of the earth. And indeed, whether you agree with the policies of Franklin Roosevelt or not, there is no question that under his leadership, the United States entered into a position of world leadership that it has never relinquished. These are the premiums at the $100 level, the two books on FDR, the lesser-known years of Franklin Roosevelt's life, 1882 to 1928, his formative years, his education, and his reign, or term, I should say, I suppose, as Undersecretary of the Navy. And then in the second book, 1928 to 1933, which covers his governorship of New York, nomination for president in 1932. At the $150 level, the most popular premium we've had tonight, the 4 videos of FDR. And by the way, you have the entire second half of part 2 coming up, and we will not interrupt it. This is the last break, and that is, of course, World War II under the leadership of Franklin Roosevelt. At the $200 level, the 2 videotapes and the 2 books. This is the type of history and the type of information that public television does so very, very well. And, you know, if you think about it, you get it every single day on public television, 24 hours a day. Isn't that nice? You want that, you want to keep it. If you do, it's your decision. You have the opportunity to make that decision right now by going to the phone and making the call. Please do.
It's where I get I feel a rounded picture of what is really going on in the world. Not one view or another view or a paid for, that I know advertising's had to pay for. I know that I can see it, and I sort of belong to it, or it sort of belongs to me.
Kathy, one of the volunteers sitting next to me, I just overheard her say as she took a call, "All these people are just great." And that is true. You are wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate all these calls. And you know, it really is up to you, but the fact of it is, you don't have to do it. No one knows whether or not you're subscribing to Channel 9. It's something that you know yourself. And the reality of it is, it's really the right thing to do. If you enjoy Channel 9, if you occasionally watch, if you watch tonight, then the right thing to do is to join us and to help out. Just a few dollars would really help. Give whatever you can. It is amazing how those dollars do add up and really make a difference. I've been a volunteer down here now since, 1962. And in those days, there were very few dollars that came in from the public. It was mainly a few grants and some help from University of Washington. So I'll tell you, the scenario has changed, and every dollar makes a difference. So we're looking forward to getting your call tonight. We'll wait up for you, 1-800-443-1999.
You know, normally pardon me, this throat is driving me nuts. Normally we would wrap it up right now and say goodbye, and we would go to part 2, and we're going to do that in about 45 seconds. But I want to encourage you at one last time to please make the telephone call that commits you as a supporter of public television. I don't care if it's for $5, folks. I don't care if it's for $1 or $1,000. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think we've had any of those tonight. But it is the last opportunity, because this is the last break of our pledge drive. And when we come back to talk to you, it will be March. I have no idea where we'll be when we get to March. But I know that if you're there, folks, and if you will call and you'll make that commitment to public television, we're going to be somewhere. And that is because of your support. But we simply cannot do it without you, no more than we were able to do it without you for the past 40 years. Nothing has changed. You are the rock upon which this station is built, and nothing, and I hope forever, nothing will change that. The premiums, if you'd like the premiums, please take advantage of them. If this has kind of piqued your interest in history, good on you. At the $100 level, the 2 books on FDR from 1882 to 1928 for one book, and 1928 to 1933. That's when FDR was governor of New York and got the nomination for the Democratic nomination for president, and of course won in 1932 against Herbert Hoover. And the $150 level, all 4 videos of Franklin Roosevelt, The American Experience. By the way, The American Experience has had, it plays no political favorites. It's had programs on Eisenhower. There's one on Nixon coming up. We've had the Johnson years. We will have them all before it's over, believe me. And at the $200, if we're still here, we will have them all before it's over, believe me. And at the $200, if we're still here, at the $200 level, 2 books and the 4 videos. So if one of those fits your particular budget, you'll enjoy the premiums. But it really, at this point, the premiums are not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is your involvement with public television, your support of public television, and the continuation of public television. Thank you so very much to everybody. Certainly a big, huge thanks to OUM and Associates, the Washington Software Association, and a night's tour. Over 50 people picked this Monday night to come down to the station to help us and to make sure that public television sticks around for a while. To Robin Brumett and Lise Wheel, thank you so very much for being. It's always wonderful to work with these ladies. They are so professional and so very, very excellent. But most importantly, to the over 500, maybe over 600 by now, individuals, couples, and families that chose tonight to support public television, I don't think you've ever made a better decision. And you certainly have never picked a better night in which to do it. We're going to stay in the studio, continue to take your calls. Thanks to everyone who's called from Yakima and all over Washington and all over British Columbia. We appreciate it so very, very much. I hope you have a great night tonight. Don't go away, because another whole hour of the American Experience FDR coming up right here on 9. Good night, everybody. Thank you so very much.